So I'm going to go over a few things with you today. First, I'm going to explain a little bit about me so you know who I am. Now, typically, at the beginning of these seminars, I like to keep everyone awake. And the way I do that is by giving everyone some sugar. Everyone like candy, right? All right, perfect. I'm going to give everyone a small handful of candy to keep you awake during the seminar. If I catch you sleeping, I'm going to huck a Snickers bar at you. There you go. Yeah, okay, you guys can share. There we go, some candy. Enjoy. Enjoy. There you go. You guys share. I'll come to your side in a second. I don't know what y'all like, so I kind of just... Oh, there's dark... I have dark chocolate at my booth. It's $17.15 if you come back. There you go. Nobody's falling asleep. You have no excuses not to pay attention now.
I know. We're going to be hyper.
Right? Oh, there you go. And feel free to share between each other. I just kind of grabbed random handfuls. Do you like, no? There you go. Of course you do. Whoops. Oh, there's some dropped at your feet there.
Well, I guess I get 2 crunch bars.
There you go. You got 2 crunch bars. And you want some too? I got some for you. You got some? There you go. You keep that one? Okay, perfect. Oh, I see. There you go. It's yours now. All right, everybody got some candy, right? I'm going to keep this up here. So if anybody feels low blood sugar, just put your hand up and I'll just throw something at you, okay? All right. So I'm going to explain a little bit about me. Who's the guy giving you candy? I'm going to go over some top marketing questions the average office has when they start going down the path for marketing. I'm also going to cover the top 16 things you need to be doing for your office in order, as well as some common marketing mistakes. I call them mistakes, not mistakes. I do that on purpose. Then I'm going to cover some top marketing FAQ questions, then a little bit about Dr. Marketing towards the end. Now, we've got about 90 minutes, so if anybody has any questions, go on and raise your hand, and I'll try to answer them throughout the presentation, okay? I left my water at the back. I will be right back. So who is Brandon Bosch? That's me. I'm the guy giving you candy. I've been in the dental industry for 10 years. I've won awards from both Google and Meta for the work that I've done. Actually, I won this cool award from Google years ago where they got to fly me out to their headquarters to see how they do things firsthand. It was actually pretty cool. Does anybody have any questions on my background at all? I come from a pretty heavy tech, IT, telecom background, pretty much. Not dentistry. I just look the part to kind of like appease you a little bit. Makes me look like a dentist, right? I'm not a dentist. Don't take medical advice from me. All right, common marketing questions. There are 5 questions that come up whenever we start going down this path for marketing. The first question everyone always asks, how much money do I spend? Obviously, everyone wants to know how much money they spend. Next question, what platform do I use to market? Right, is it Google? Is it Facebook? Do I advertise on print? How about dating websites? Do I advertise on those? Maybe if you're cosmetic, if you're wanting to promote for cosmetic procedures, not getting any matches, swipe right for a new smile. Then, who do I promote my ads to? So once you kind of pick the platform, who are you going to promote them to? Right? Geographically as well as demographically. Geographically, the location around your office. Right? Are there specific communities that are generating more patients? Or demographically, what's the age range? The gender, marital status, kids, job, right? Then, how do I rank higher on Google? Obviously, everyone wants to know that. My personal favorite, what happens if I do this and it doesn't work? So, I am going to answer all these questions throughout the presentation, but does anybody else have any additional questions that we're kind of hoping to get answers on? No? Awesome. For those of you that just came in, I have candy up here if you want. Or talk to your neighbors, they have candy as well. Okay. So, top 16 things we should be doing for your office in order. The very first thing we want to take a look at are domains. Now, there's 2 types of domains. You've got keyword-based domains and you've got business name domains. So business name domains are exactly what they sound like. It is the name of your business as a domain. So brandondentistry.com is an example, or, PasadenaFamilyDentist.com, or whatever it is, okay? That whatever the name of your business is, that's the domain. A keyword-based domain is a keyword tied to a specific service, location, or industry turned into a domain, okay? So that would be like dentalimplantsnearyou.com, cosmetic dentist in Atlanta.com, right? Family dentist near you, kids dentist near this, orthodontist around whatever. Everyone's with me on that? Okay. Now, for business name domains, you have to protect your identity. So what I mean by that, there are 5 primary suffixes that everyone should be registering when they're registering their business name domain. A suffix is the ending of a domain. .com, .net, .me, .dental, .rocks, .io. There's tens of thousands of different suffixes. There's only 5 that are most recognized in the United States. .com, .net, .biz, .info, and .org. So what you want to do is you want to register all 5 primary suffixes to your business name. BrandonDentistry.com, BrandonDentistry.net, BrandonDentistry.biz, .info, and .org. There's 2 reasons. One, the average person, 99.9999999% of the time, will type in, if they don't know what the suffix is, one of those 5 primaries. The second reason, if your name is BrandonDentistry.com, and that's the only one you register, if somebody else in another state says, hey, I want to register Brandon Dentistry, and BrandonDentistry.net is available, they will register it. So the next time somebody Googles Brandon Dentistry, you will show up and they will show up. So what you want to do is you want to take the ability away from your competitors by registering those 5 primaries. If you register those 5 primaries, if somebody else in another city or state or country decides to look up BrandonDentistry.net, .org, .info, they're like, damn, it's not available. They're not going to register BrandonDentistry.metal or BrandonDentistry.news or BrandonDentistry.ortho. They're not going to do it, right? And if they do, I could care less because the average person will only type in those 5. Is everyone with me on that? Okay. For keyword-based domains, you don't have to do that. One domain is more than enough. There's nothing there to protect. So all you need to do is just Brandon Dentistry, or if it's keyword-based domain, we'll do like, dentalimplantsnearyou.com, and then away we go. We don't have to register the other 4 primaries. Is everyone with me on that one? Okay. Now, when you register keyword-based domains, do not register multiple domains because Google doesn't care. So what I don't want to see is a GoDaddy account with 50 domains thinking that it helps with your optimization because Google doesn't care. The only thing Google cares about is that there is a domain and there's a website attached to it. Everything else that's forwarded does absolutely nothing for search engine optimization. So do not waste your money registering multiple domains because Google honestly doesn't care. Okay, the only reason I'm suggesting you do that for your business name is because it protects your identity. Okay? Now, every time you register a domain, your information becomes public knowledge, which means if I'm a spammer, I could find your domain, I could scrape all your personal and business information off of it and sell it to 1,000 people to spam the hell out of you until the end of time. So to prevent that from happening, what we want to do is add a security blanket to the domain that redacts personal information. It's not expensive. Okay, but it hides your personal information from being visible online. Your phone number, your address, stuff like that. Okay? Now, for the domains, they're not expensive. Regardless of the suffix, they're anywhere between $15 and $30 a year. Okay, so registering all the primaries will cost you a couple $100. Okay? Keyword-based domain, it's the same. Okay? Security for the domain is anywhere between $5 and $15 a year per domain. We're not talking large amounts of money, but it will help protect your identity and it will make sure that you're not getting as much spam. Everyone with me so far? Except the new people that just came in? All right. Next are emails. Here's some candy. Don't fall asleep in my seminar. Okay. How many people know for a fact that their email is HIPAA compliant? Show of hands. You know for a fact your email is HIPAA compliant. Only like 5. How many of you use like Gmail, Hotmail, AOL, MSN to communicate with patients? Yeah, I see some shit. I get it. Okay, now the odds of you going to spam. So let's just say a new patient emails you, you email them back. The odds of you going to spam if you use one of those providers is about 70%. So when you email that patient back, 70% of the time, their mail server will pick it up and say, oh, Gmail again, or Yahoo again, or MSN again? Spam, 70% of the time. So if you get an incoming email from a patient and you email them back and they're not responding, it's because your emails are not being delivered to their inbox. Now with custom emails, it's only 12%. I'm going to just lower this for you. Hopefully it doesn't shut it off. You're welcome. It's only 12% with custom emails. So a custom email is like brandon@brandondentistry.com. Okay? Typically, these emails can be hosted by anyone with a mail server, but there are two primary providers that have mostly HIPAA compliance, like they really only offer HIPAA compliant emails. Google's G Suite program and Microsoft Office 365. If you were with either of those two, you were pretty much good to go. Okay? Now, the reason why we want to maintain a custom email at all costs, aside from it looking more professional, is like, consider from a patient's perspective. If you email them back from like dentaltemp101@gmail.com and you're asking for their medical records, do you honestly think that they're going to respond? Probably not. It looks very fishy. But if you were to email them from info@coultersmilldental.com, it would look much more professional. They'd be more likely to reply. Okay? Now, what's really interesting is that patients are smart. They'll take your suffix, they'll pop it into Google, and if it populates your website, they know you're legitimate. You can't do that from a Gmail account, guys. Okay? So custom emails are definitely the way to go. Now, what's interesting about custom emails is that there's a lot of extra backup and a lot of extra things that you can add to this. I'm going to pause for 1 second. Is there a way I'm just going to shift this. I'm just going to shift this so you guys can see. I don't know if am I not allowed to do that? Can you all see this? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I just feel like this crowd can't see it. So if you can't see it, I don't know, there's a screen over here you can also look at, okay? All right. So with medical grade emails, there are some extra things that you want to add into the email to make sure that it's more effective. So one of those things is data backup, okay? Data backup means that if you accidentally delete an email, a sent received message, a folder, or a contact, you can easily restore that. Malware protection means that if you get an email that says, hey, click here for the invoice, and secretly, like it's a Trojan virus and your staff accidentally clicks on it to pay it, that virus stays in the email and doesn't migrate it to your computer or your network. Anti-phishing software means that if you get an email from a known spammer, that email will get sent straight to your spam box and not your inbox. Email encryption. How encryption used to work is that if I wanted to send you a message, I would say, hey, send this encrypted file. It would have to get sent through a third party. You would get a message that says that Brandon sent you a message. You have to log into the third party to see it. So then you log in, you reply, then I get a message saying that you replied. And in order for me to see it, I have to log into the third party. Everyone know what I'm talking about there, right? Okay. That sort of encryption through Google's G Suite program and Microsoft Office is built into every outgoing email. So anytime you send a message, it's automatically encrypted. Okay, super awesome. Desktop and mobile integration means that if you read and reply to something on your phone, it's read and replied to on the other device. This way you don't accidentally reply to the same thing. And then 50 gigs of storage. That's enough for about 250,000 regular emails or about 40,000 emails with patient records, depending on the size of your patient records. Does anybody have any questions on emails at all? One question, sir. Okay, Gmail is a free email provider. Like you can anything at gmail.com. G Suite allows you to set up custom emails and you pay Google for that service. So you can hook up your domain to an email account. Okay? The cost for Outlook and Gmail, it really depends on the features that you have in the space. It can float anywhere from $5 a month to as much as about $70 a month. Okay? Personally, for me, like all of my staff have the most premium, secure, like backup ready, everything good to go for all of my staff. Any other questions for the email? Awesome. Let's move on. Website design. How many of you have a website? Everyone should put up their hand. Come on. There we go. More people. Okay. So how websites have been designed over the last 30 years is basically a website company would get a server and build websites for those servers. Okay, they would sell you those websites. Now, a website company historically does not make a lot of money on the website hosting. So what they need to do is they need to create better websites with better servers, with better technology, and then they will sell you those websites. They won't just give them to you, they will sell them to you. And then they will do this every 6 months like clockwork. You want the newest and greatest pieces of technology. You want the best sort of website, the most conversion, the best security, the fastest loading times. You have to pay to upgrade to get it. And if you don't pay to upgrade to get it, what ends up happening is that your website starts to develop problems, right? Like your website, when somebody clicks on it, it doesn't load. Or there's a widget that's broken. Or security license isn't renewed. Or oops, nothing's here, 404 page error. I'm sure all of you have experienced this on your website, or you've seen somebody's website that looks like this, or it looks heavily outdated, right? So there are some important things to keep in mind when you are building a website and picking a provider. One, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the structure of the site. Okay, the structure, imagine there's nothing here, okay, but you're piecing it together. How many of you ever seen blueprints of like a house? Same sort of thing. It's called wireframing, okay? It allows you to basically put the website together without any color, without any text, without any images. What will the website be structured like, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to start populating it with the actual design. What is it going to say? How is it going to look? What colors will be there? If I scroll over a button, will it scroll to a different color? That sort of thing, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to look at the technology of the website. So if I click this, it goes here. If I click that, it goes there, okay? So you're going to pay attention to these three things at different stages, okay? Now, it's not just the web designer that has to pay attention to them. It's your business. You have to pay attention to them as well. So if you notice that there are errors, tell your web designer. We can fix almost everything, but we can't see everything because sometimes we're standing too close to the project. And I'm not just talking figuratively. Sometimes we're literally like this, like just making sure that things are lined up, okay? So if you notice anything that's off, make sure you have that vocalization with your web designer. Now, some other important things to keep in mind when you're designing a website. Keep it simple. What I don't want to do is go to somebody's website and it's scrolling 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 times to get to the bottom. Fun fact, the average person only scrolls 4 times before moving on. 4 times. So don't make your website ridiculously long. You want to review it. So I'm not talking every single day, but look at your website once every 6 months for inaccuracies, whether it's staffing, hour changes, technology updates, service changes. We go from Invisalign to I don't know, active aligners from another provider. I don't know. Like you could change any number of things, okay? So what you have to do is you have to review your website on a consistent basis every 6 months. Just put it in your calendar, review it for 30 minutes, okay? It doesn't take long. Next, you want to test it. Okay, we can do all the technology tests, but one thing that historically web design companies don't do is they will not test your hyperlinks. So if you want a hyperlink that goes to a specific association or a specific school, you have to make sure that those links are still going to the correct pages. Okay, because it's not the web designer's job to make sure that if you're wanting to link to an association article, I don't know if that's the right article. You just told me to link to it, right? So you have to make sure that that article is still valid and that you're checking it. And you would do that during your review stage. Okay? Test every link, make sure it works. Okay? Go page by page. And then update. Guys, it's not hard to make a website updated, but I will tell you what's really difficult, if I just go back here, what's really more of like a pain in the butt is rebuilding your website every 2 to 3 years because you feel like your web designer isn't doing their job. Part of the job comes from you. So if you feel that your website is outdated, communicate with your web designer. Because I will tell you as a web designer, it is extremely tedious to rebuild someone's website every couple of years. What's very easy, your website's outdated, perfect. I can literally hop on a call with you and update 20 pages of your website within an hour. Changing dramatically the design of a website. It doesn't take long to change a website. What takes long is to build the damn thing. Okay? So don't be rebuilding your website every couple of years. Work with your designer. If your designer doesn't respond or isn't doing the changes in an appropriate time, look for somebody else to do that work, okay? Everyone's with me on that. They understand? Okay. Any questions on web design at all? Perfect. Next is optimization. Now, there are two types of optimization. You've got static and you've got dynamic. So static are keywords that are built per page, meaning if I've got a page for implants, I've got a page for root canals, I've got a page for cosmetics, peds, ortho, and everything else that I do, there are specific keywords that will help that specific page show up on Google. Okay, so if I go online and I type in orthodontics, the orthodontics page will show up. If I go online and type in missing tooth or dental implant, the dental implant page will show up. If I type in dental implant surgery, the dental implant surgery page will show up. Everyone's with me, right? That is a static keyword. Now, to make it more dynamic to show up in your local area, you have to add combinations to the static. You can't just say dental implant is your keyword. Okay, you have to say dental implant near me, dental implant around, the Gray Building downtown, dental implant on Main Street, dental implant in Pasadena, dental implant in this, dental implant that. So you have to add all these different combinations just for the word dental implant. So every static keyword on your website could have as many as 50 or 100 different dynamic combinations attached to it. Okay, this is why search engine optimization is a paid service, because sometimes you could have tens of thousands of different dynamic combinations on your website. Everyone's with me on that, right? Okay, now, you do have to make sure of a couple things when you're doing search engine optimization. Specifically, the static keywords, you have to make sure that these keywords are page specific. So what I see a lot of times is keywords, people just like jam-pack keywords on every single page because they understand the premise of optimization, but they don't understand how it works. Okay? You can't add a root canal keyword on a dental implant page, just like you can't add a teeth whitening keyword on an emergency or pediatric page. And that's what I see a lot of the times. You want to draw the right traffic to the right page. So if that means that your pediatric page only has 5 static keywords, that's fine, because it means it's drawing the right traffic to that specific page. Okay? Now, you want to add and replace keywords. So over time, keywords develop and have to change. People search differently in the springtime for teeth whitening than they do in the fall. Springtime, it's actually related to weddings. In the fall, it's more related to kids going back to school. So it's an interesting fact, right? And so what you have to do is you have to change your keywords. You can't just leave keywords on your website that are outdated. So that means as time goes on, you have to remove keywords and replace them with other ones that are relevant at that date and time. Everyone's with me on that? Okay, you have to do this for every single page of your website. So what are keywords people are searching for that specific service today? And that's what you have to add in. What are they going to be searching 6 months from now? That's what you have to add in, okay? Now, you also have to combine your keywords. How many of you ever heard of a metaphrase? Metaphrase? Few of you? Okay. A metaphrase is a sentence that people type in. It's a combination of static and dynamic keywords. So as a static keyword, you could say emergency dentist. As a dynamic, it could be emergency dentist near me. Now, as a sentence, it could be emergency dentist near me who deals with chipped teeth in children. You see how that works? So what you want to do is you want to create a bunch of these metaphrases over time. When you create these metaphrases, you're going to start adding them into something called a blog. How many of you are familiar with a blog or how it works? A few of you? How many of you know that you're supposed to build a blog through a specific system called an RSS feed? Nobody. Okay. An RSS feed basically is a piece of technology that when you add it to your website and you put content in it, it sends a signal to search engines to say, hey, I've added new content, come back and scan my website. So when you add an RSS feed, you have to do it through, or when you add a blog, you have to do it through an RSS feed. Okay, if you don't, any blog content that's on your website does nothing. Like you're just like adding a Word doc to your website and expecting people to find it, including Google. Google's going to look at it and be like, what the hell is this, right? You have to add an RSS feed to your website in order to populate your blog content, okay? Now, when you're building your RSS feed, you're going to give Google or the RSS feed 3 pieces of information: who you are, where you are, what you do, okay? I'm a dentist. I'm in Toronto. These are the services I offer. So if somebody in your area searching for a dentist is looking for this service, Google knows to have your blog show up to that search. Is everyone with me on that one? Okay. Now, you're going to categorize your keywords. So this one's actually pretty interesting. It's a free system you plug into your website. It's called Google Search Console, like an Xbox console, like CONSOLES, console, okay? Consoles, it's console, okay? Anyway, so there's a free system you plug into your website, okay? It allows you to track every keyword that people type in, how many clicks you're getting for those keywords, and what pages that people are landing on. So it allows you to track which keywords are your most popular keywords. So if you're ever wondering about what blog content you should be writing about, you should probably look at this because it actually tells you what people are searching for. Now, what's really interesting about this part is that, and from the previous slide, you know how people search differently in spring than they do in the fall for different things? You don't want to be writing content based on 2 years of data. So you're actually going to funnel through this Google Search Console into maybe 3 or 6 months. So you're looking up relevant keywords of what people are searching for now. What are the top keywords people are searching for now? Because if I search from a 2-year perspective, like you could be writing content for your blog that's 2 years old. People might not be searching for those specific keywords today. Everyone's with me on that part? So when you're doing Google Search Console and you're plugging it into your website, just do it from a 2 to 3, maybe 4 month time period to build blog content for what people are actually searching for. Okay? Next, you're going to write the content. Okay? Now, how many of you used ChatGPT before? Bard or Gemini, right? Like chat systems like AI systems can do amazing things. All you have to do, plug in like 50 or 100 keywords and say, write me blog content based on this. Now, you do have to proc it a bunch of times because the content it produces sucks, right? It does. It's really bad. So what you have to do is you have to say, hey, use adjectives, make it witty, make it conversational, make it 1,500 words, include some images, right? It will spit out, depending on the access that you have to these chat systems, it will spit out content, okay? You do have to edit it a lot. Now, it may produce the content, but it doesn't produce the back end for optimization, which typically has to be done by a marketing company, okay? Now, when you are writing blog content, some pro tips. If you do not post every 2 to 4 weeks, your RSS feed becomes stagnant, okay? If you do not post every 2 to 4 weeks, your blog content, your RSS feed, Google will not care. So that means if you try to post now after posting 3 months ago, and you do have an RSS feed, Google's going to be like, too bad. I don't trust your RSS feed anymore because you're not giving me content on a regular basis. Okay? They're very petty. Search engines are very petty. So you have to make sure that you are posting every 2 to 4 weeks to keep that RSS feed alive. At least 50 keywords in each blog content. Okay? And that's a combination of both static and dynamic combinations, okay? The reason I'm saying at least 50, you write a blog post around dental implants, and the only word you use is dental implants. Okay? So if somebody is specifically searching for dental implants, they'll find it. But what happens if they're searching for dental implant cleaning, dental implant surgery, dental implant cost, single tooth dental implant, full arches, right? So this is why you have to make sure you are including the appropriate content, the appropriate keywords together. And then what you can do is you can actually start linking to different blog content. So if I, as an example, decided to write a blog post around implants, another one about single tooth, another one about full arches, another one about cleaning dental implants, I can actually link them together. Because when somebody reads it, they'll be like, oh, that's what I want to learn about. And then they'll come over here. Then they'll come over here. Then they'll come over here. Okay, they're going to spiderweb on your website. When that happens, your ranking for Google goes up. Because the more pages that somebody clicks on, the better it is for you. Okay? So at least 50 keywords. You want to have between 750 and 2,000 words. Anything more, you're just kind of losing the patient in the details. And then use custom images. So what I mean by custom images, don't do this. Hey, you just got an implant? Take a picture. Right? And then just post it on your blog. Don't do that. Okay? I mean, you could if the patient's cool with it. But what I would recommend would maybe be a stock photo with your color filter over it. Or your logo at the bottom corner. Or an abstract of your logo on the image. So it looks more personal. Okay? Even if it's a stock. Okay? Any questions on blogs at all? Perfect. Now, how to optimize your site. There are specific places that you need to do or that you need to include keywords in order for Google to be able to pick it up. Now, I say Google, but there are other search engines like DuckDuckGo, right? Or Bing or Yahoo, right? There's lots of different ones that you could be using. So some of the places you need to optimize, one is in the tab of the actual browser itself. Next is the URL suffix. So after the .com or .ca. After that are the navigation tabs. How many of you ever seen Google when you Google a business and then you've seen like home, about, services, contact for someone's business? That's what that is, okay? Next is the page title. How many of you ever heard of an H1 header? H1. Okay, one person. Awesome. Two people. Okay, there's H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, and then there's page content. Okay, the headers are one of the most important things that Google looks at. Obviously, H1 being the most. H1, you should only have one H1 header per page, always at the top. Okay, it's one of the most important things that Google looks at. You're looking at, out of 200 things that Google looks at, this is a top 20 item, okay? So the page header needs to be both static and dynamically optimized. So don't just say bad breath, okay? Bad breath could mean anything. It could be a recipe for garlic. You don't know. Google doesn't know. You put bad breath treatment, okay, you're going to show up anywhere, but now you put bad breath treatment in Victoria, now you're getting more specific. So if somebody in that area looks up bad breath treatment, that specific page will show up. You with me on that? Okay, so it should be static and dynamically optimized for the title. Next is the page summary. So the summary provides Google with a synopsis of what the page is actually going to be about. Now, the number one thing that Google looks at, in my opinion, is something called the page title and description. Page title and description. Okay? So on the back end of the website, there's something called the title and description. So if you Googled anything right now, you would see every search result has a title of what that search result is, and you would see a short description of what it is. Does everyone know what I'm talking about there, right? When you Google something, you read about every search result. Okay. You can manipulate that for every single page of your website. Okay, so the root canal title and description is going to be different than the implant title, different than the emergency title. So as an example, an implant title should read something like, need dental implants, replace a missing tooth today. The description should read, need to replace one tooth, two teeth, or a full arch of teeth. We can do the surgery and provide a free consultation, call them out. So anytime somebody is going to Google teeth white or dental implants, free consultation, cleanings, single arch, like that specific title and description will help you show up high in the search results because you have so much content that is relevant to the search. Is everyone with me? What you don't want to do is Brandon Dentistry dental implants, Brandon Dentistry root canals, Brandon Dentistry like family dentistry. Okay, you don't want to do that. I'm going to show you a trick on how you can actually see what your title and description is in a few slides, okay? Now, I do want to back up to the content on the website for 1 second. The content on the website needs to be ranked according to how much traffic it generates. So, as an example, you've got treatment, causes, and symptoms. Why did I go with treatment at the top? Because that's the top ranking word when somebody looks up bad breath. It's not symptoms or causes, right? So you put treatment at the top, right? Because if I put bad breath causes, this person who's looking for treatment doesn't care. So you put treatment at the top, and then as you read, you'll see symptoms and causes down below, okay? So you want to rank your content according to how much traffic people are, or to how much traffic it's generating from what people are searching. So you remember Google Search Console, and I told you to rank your content to figure out what you should be writing about for your blogs? Same thing for this. Same thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at your Google Search Console, you're going to categorize your keywords for bad breath, and then you're going to see what your relevant content is, and then you're going to rank it on your website, specifically on that page. Is everyone with me on that? Do you have any questions on that part? Okay. So again, the title and description, super, super important. Number one thing Google looks at by far, because they literally lift it off of your website and put it on the search result without changing a thing. This is like your only opportunity to really give Google content without them changing it. Okay? Next is something called local business schema. This is basically a page of code that you add to your website that helps Google Maps find and navigate local businesses to present to local searchers. Basically, the closer someone is to your office, the higher you get found on the search results. So if I search for a dentist near me, your office will show up first. If I search for a dentist near me later today, your office will show up first. Okay, Google wants to show businesses that are closer to the people that are searching. Okay? Now, why is optimization important? One sec. Look at all the keywords somebody could type in. This is what I came up with maybe in about, I think it was about 3 minutes. I wrote out these keywords. But there's so many. So what the average person will do is they'll type in a keyword into Google, and what we want to have happen is that specific page show up. So I type in orthodontics near me. You have one page that shows up, which is their homepage. And because we optimized it, the description has orthodontics written right there. And because I was beside their office, Coulter's Mill in the description, orthodontics. So that's why they show up first. And then they have one page. Their implant page isn't there. Their tooth whitening page isn't there. Their cleaning page isn't there. We only optimize the orthodontics page for orthodontics keywords. Okay? So what the patient does, they're like, oh, that's what I'm looking for. And then I find what I'm looking for in one click. Everyone's with me on that, right? On how that works? Okay. Oh, sorry, you had a question?
You just typed in ad breath treatment in New Orleans, and top one was Bristol, like halitosis, but they don't have like the treatment in there, but that's
right.
Sponsored search results on Google.
Let me talk about that. So he asked about sponsored ads on Google. So when he types in like local dentist for bad breath near me, you can see sponsored. You can also see sponsored in the Maps section of Google, right? There's also an ad for someone to advertise in Maps. I will talk about that in 5 slides, okay? 4 slides. Google Business Profile. Everyone know what Google Maps is, right? How many of you have ownership of your Google Maps page? A few of you? Okay. If you don't, see if you do by just Googling yourself, and then it just says like own this business. And then you can literally just like follow the steps. It takes a few minutes to verify, and then poof, you have ownership of your business, okay? Now, once you do, you want to edit the profile. It's very simple, but it takes between 3 and 5 hours to do properly, okay? You have to edit the services, the insurance information, your social media pages, your pictures, your description, your history. Like there's like, do you have public bathrooms? Like there's so many things that you have to do to update this to make sure that it's Google ready, okay? Now, once you do, if you have multiple locations, you can also categorize it through another backend. So if you do have like if Google says, hey, you have more than one location, let me give you access to a different system. This is what it would look like. For anybody that has multiple locations, you can categorize it, okay? Now, what's really important is this next part, so pay attention and wake up. Okay, next. As you scroll down your page, you'll see an announcements part. You can make announcements on your Google Maps page. These are like social media posts directly attached to your map. And these social media posts are optimization friendly. It's like writing little blog posts attached just to your Maps page. It's different than your blog. It's different from your Facebook page. These are directly on your map. Okay? One of the most important things that Google looks at. Okay? You should be doing it at least twice a month, by the way. At least 2 times a month posting. Some people go crazy and post once a day. I don't think it's required. Twice a month is fine. Okay? Next is responding to reviews. How many of you respond to reviews? Perfect. How many of you know that your response is HIPAA compliant? Did you know that putting the name of the person in the review is not HIPAA compliant? Even if the person's name is right here. You can't say, thanks, Dale, for the review. You can't admit that you know who they are, even if their name is right there. Because if they go back and take their name out, and then you didn't update your review, you just admitted you know who that person is. So it's stupid rules. They can end up suing you for it. Anyway, it's really dumb. Do not admit that you know them in any capacity. You want to have a very general, generic response to a review, but it is one of the most important things that Google looks at, because the response to the review is indexed by Google. So don't just say thanks for the review, okay? What you want to say is, thank you so much for the review, positive or negative. We want to make sure everyone has the best dental experience at our local dental office. Whether you need anything for an emergency for your child or for family or cosmetic care, give us a call. We'll do the best for you. Here's my phone number. I didn't admit that they were a patient. I didn't admit to any procedure. but I have best, dental, local, near you, emergency, cosmetic, family, phone number. So anytime somebody Googles anything, my response is going to help Google make me show up number one. Okay? So, does anybody have any questions on that? I'm going to talk about reviews in a couple slides as well. Okay? Respond to every review, but do it in a HIPAA-compliant way. Next, Bing. Fun fact. Actually, I'm not even going to tell you the fun fact just yet. How many of you use Bing as your search engine? Show of hands. Come on, put up your hands. Really? None of you? Fun fact, 30% of you are, you don't even realize. Because Google and Bing have a very similar search engine, and Bing is the default browser for Microsoft. So if you're actually thinking you're Googling something, look at the top right-hand corner of your browser. When you do that, you're probably Binging it. You don't even realize. 30% of you are doing that. So what we want to do is we want to set up a Bing map, just like on Google, but we want to do it through Bing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to bingplaces.com. We're going to sign in. We're going to sign in using our Google credentials. Okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to sync your profiles from Google to Bing. So basically, you're going to say, Bing, take everything from Google, and Google's just going to open up the floodgates and give it all the information you just updated on that profile. And guess what? It's going to take less than 5 minutes to do this. Okay? So that Google profile you spent 3 to 5 hours doing, Bing will take it in 5 minutes. Now, all you have to do when you have your profile in Bing, you just edit the profile. Just make sure that Google and Bing sync together correctly. Whoops. They sync together correctly. So what you want to make sure is that, the industry is there, the pictures are uploaded properly, your hours of operation are correct. It'll take you less than 5 minutes to go through that, and then you got a profile on Bing. Pretty easy, right? This is probably the easiest thing you can end up doing today. Okay? One question, sir.
What if you have it in as like a spy apart?
It's a good question. He asked if there was a by appointment only option in Google or Bing. There's not, unfortunately. So if you do have a by appointment only office, that specific day, you could either load the hours or you could omit the hours. The alternative option would be to go day by day throughout the entire year to make sure that your hours are updated on the days that you are actually working. Okay? I don't necessarily agree with that. I would just say leave the hours as like open all the time. Okay? If you're by appointment on one day, or if you're like, alternating, I'm closed, I'm open, I'm closed, I'm open, just put the hours as you regularly being open. If they don't answer, they'll leave you a message. Okay? Or if you don't answer, typically the patient will leave you a message. Okay? If they don't and you have a missed call them back the next day you're in. Okay? Next, chatbots. How many of you use a chatbot on your website? Come on. How many of you hate using a chatbot? Guys, I gave you candy for this. Raise your hands. Okay? How many of you hate using a chatbot again? How many of you use a chatbot on your website? None of you? Put one on there today. I promise you're going to generate more leads. I promise you. Okay, the reason I'm saying you're going to generate more leads is because it's a conversion tool. It's like adding a book online option or a phone number to your website or a web form. It's just a way that somebody can communicate with your office. Somebody will communicate with you in a way that is convenient for them. So if you don't have a chatbot on your website, you're not getting that lead. Fun. I can show you an email that I got from an office that we look after. He sent it to me yesterday. He got a lead at 11 o'clock at night from the chatbot, and he just wanted to say thanks for adding it in. 11 o'clock at night. Okay? I'm telling you, you will generate more leads with a chatbot than without. Now, there are two types of chat systems. You've got chat bots and you've got live chat. Okay? Live chat requires someone to actually respond. Okay? A bot is an automated response system. Now, through the bot, there are two different paths. The first path is that you can have an artificial intelligence answering back. I don't agree with these because you kind of leave it open for the bot to interpret and go down rabbit holes. Okay? And the rabbit holes it goes down sometimes are ridiculous. So the easiest method is to have preset responses and preset answers. Okay? So how to set this up, you're going to create a bunch of procedures. Okay? The procedures could be categories or groups. Okay? Cosmetic, endo, perio, restorative, whatever. Or it could be like implants, teeth whitening, cleanings, veneers, stuff like that, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to build a story for each one of these. So what is the bot going to say when the person goes down that path? Okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to tie them together. So it looks complicated. I promise you it is. So you go down this path and it says, here's the information for cosmetics. Do you want to book an appointment for cosmetics? Learn about veneers, teeth whitening, or something else? Tell me about teeth whitening. Okay, here's the info on teeth whitening. Do you want to book an appointment for teeth whitening? Learn about veneers, bonding, or something else? Let's learn about veneers. Okay, and it keeps going down this until the person says, let's book the appointment. And when it asks for the appointment, it says, okay, give me your name, give me your email, your phone number, best time to call, and primary concern. So then you end up getting an email that looks like this. It says, hey, just let you know, Brandon's looking for teeth whitening. Here's his contact information and his chat history. Give him a call. Now, I say give him a call. Why did I say give him a call? Do you email patients back when they come in? Most of you do. What's the percentage of emails that go into the patient's spam box? Does anyone remember? 70%. So you get an email to your office, your staff should not be emailing them back. They should be calling. Anybody seen Wolf of Wall Street? Come on. I know some of you have. There we go. Put up some hands. Okay. Wolf of Wall Street, guys. Pick up the phone and start dialing. It is your business. Don't just email them back. Do you know how much a patient value is worth over the course of their lifetime? Myself, I had orthognathic surgery. Okay? So, I had my upper and lower broken. Actually, I can show you pictures of it, okay? That surgery with the orthodontics was $15,000 for me, not including my 2 kids and my wife with all their orthodontic work and all their procedures, their teeth whitening, their fillings, their cleanings over the course of 10 years. Okay? Don't just, it's like someone emails you, hey, I'm interested in your office. Okay, thanks. When do you want to come in? What kind of effort is that? Pick up the phone. They just emailed you. Pick up the phone. Get them on the phone. Book the appointment. Sorry, guys, I get passionate about this because, you have to understand, this is a business. You're not getting patients every month because your staff are not dealing with the patients that are coming in or the leads that are coming in. Deal with them properly. Okay. This is how the bot functions. Super easy, preset responses. Call your leads back when they come in. Always, always, always call them back. Never email them back. Always call. Okay? Super easy. Here's the question. Here's the answers. Select the response. It takes you to a pathway. Every pathway asks for your contact info. Any questions on the bot? No? Okay. Next, we want to build website popularity. How we do that is through directories. One question, sir.
What's to add a bot to a website?
Bots are pretty inexpensive. You build one yourself and you have an IT background, it might cost you $50. Okay? Usually I don't recommend doing that. You get with any reputable company like Dr. Marketing or anyone else, it'll be anywhere from $100 to $150. Okay? Sometimes they can be as much as $300 or more. It depends on the level of bot that you have enabled on your site. Monthly. It's a licensing fee that you're basically paying for. Okay? Website popularity, directories. People use directories randomly. Yellow Pages, RateMDs, Health Grades, Manta, Better Business Bureau, Hot Frog. There's so many. Right? So what you want to do is you want to find the directory and you want to add yourself to it. Now, if you're on it already, just claim your listing and update it. If you're not on it, add yourself to it. If you're on a directory you shouldn't be on, like Homestars or House.com, that has to do with contractors, remove yourself from it. Okay? So you're going to make sure that every piece of information is accurate. The reason you do is because the last item on this list is called a backlink. How many of you heard of backlinks before? It's a link that leads to your website not from Google, but from an alternative source. The more backlinks you have, the higher you get ranked. However, the caveat is that the information needs to be accurate according to Google. If it's not, the backlink doesn't count. So remember a few slides ago when we were updating our Google Maps page? Whatever you put on map will go on here. And it needs to be accurate. So if you put Inc., like INC on the end of your name on Google, you will add it to every directory. If there's one period missing, your listing does not count. Google is very adamant about that, okay? So you have to make sure whatever's on the directory is also on Google and vice versa, okay? Now, Instead of doing this manually, you were going to do this through something called an aggregator. Okay, now there are lots of different types of aggregators. There's local ones, there's national ones, and there's industry-specific ones. These are basically businesses that control groups of directories. Okay, so instead of working with individual directories, 500, 600, 700 of them, you're going to work with maybe a handful of aggregators who are just going to disseminate your information to the entire internet. Now, some of these directories are free, some of them are paid, some of them are commercial that I can work with, some of them are consumer that you can work with. Okay? And so you have to make sure that you are working with as many as you possibly can. Okay? Everyone understand what an aggregator is? Okay? Yellow Pages is technically an aggregator. They disseminate information to, I think, 12 different websites, including Yelp. Okay? How many of you ever heard of Yext? Yext is another one. They're a consumer aggregator. They're about $20 a month, roughly. They disseminate to about 90 websites. Vendasta is another one. Okay? Localese, Newstar. These are all directory or all aggregators that you could potentially work with, okay? Now, what is linking? Well, linking allows you to... Sorry, I thought that somebody was like falling through. I saw a big wave there. Okay, linking allows you to draw traffic to your page in more than one way, okay? So you have internal linking that goes from page to page of your website, okay? You have external linking that goes from your website to an external source. Then you have directory links that go from an external source back to your website. Everyone's with me on that, right? Okay. Now, there's a system, Google Search Console. I explained it earlier when we were talking about the keywords and how you rank for each one of them, remember? Okay. There's another part of that system that allows you to see the links that you have, and it tells you where they are. So if, let's just say, Yellow Pages or Yelp or Homestars or Localese or whoever, Hot Frog, whatever directory is missing, you can see that it's missing, and then you'll be like, hey, it's missing. I have to go in and update it. So then you go and find the directory, and then you update the information, right? Or you proc the aggregator who's responsible for it and be like, hey, wrong information, hello. And then they're just going to keep probing the directory until it's done, okay? Now, usually it's not a one and done. So if the aggregator stops procking the directory thinks you're no longer in business, and they'll just remove your listing. So you have to, it's a licensing fee as well to work with an aggregator. So you have to maintain the license, added cost, okay? Any questions on linking at all? No? Awesome. Okay, website accessibility. How many of you ever used this feature here before? Sometimes it's a question mark, a guy in a wheelchair, pair of glasses, you know what it is? It's a website accessibility feature. So fun fact, in February of 2023, the Canadian and U.S. governments got together to release the Website Accessibility Guidelines Act. Has anybody heard of that act before? Okay, it basically means that if somebody has a disability, they could sue you if they cannot use your website. Does anybody know about that? Yeah. So I actually had one office call me in a panic. I had never worked with this guy a day in my life. Downtown Manhattan. Someone was suing him for $1.1 million because he was blind and couldn't use the dentist's website, and his existing provider did not have the capabilities of providing an accessibility feature. Could you imagine getting a legal letter for $1.1 million that you're being sued over something so stupid? I get it. I understand. I mean, stupidity and not in terms of disabilities. I'm saying the reason that they sued because he can't use a website is very stupid. Okay? So, adding the accessibility feature is a simple fix to that, okay? It allows people with disabilities to be able to use your website, okay? If you're hearing impaired, we can make sure that the text is bigger or that the website can be read to you. If you're vision impaired, it can read it to you. If you're colorblind, it can change the colors. If you're dyslexic, it will change the font, right? It does so many different things. Now, there are free ones out there. Free accessibility widgets are very cheap ones. But understand, some of these free ones or cheap ones do not cover the vast amount of disabilities that people have. So you have to work with an accessibility widget that does to make sure you are crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's. Okay? Now, the benefit of adding this, aside from its capabilities of manipulating your website for people with disabilities, is that it makes your website technologically advanced. The more advanced you make your website, the higher you get ranked on Google. It's the same thing as adding a chatbot to your website. It's another way that people can convert. Google thinks of that as a plus. Okay? Does anybody have any questions on the accessibility widget at all? Okay? We're all good? Perfect. Okay. Next, we want to ask for reviews. How many of you ask your patients for reviews? How many of you actually get the reviews from your patients?
Oh,
All right. Best ways to generate reviews. Through a survey. You send a survey to your patient. They complete the survey. If the survey scores above 90%, it'll automatically redirect the patient to Google to leave you a review. If they score below 90%, it just says, thanks so much, have a great day. This way it keeps any negative comments offline. Okay? Next is a sign in the waiting room. Okay, simple sign with a QR code that says, hey, please leave us a review. One of my best offices puts the QR code directly on his ceiling panel. So when you lean back, it says, please leave me a review on his ceiling panel. He has 1,100 reviews as of today. Ask for it during the appointment. Pick and choose your moments, okay? If the patient's leaning back in the chair and you're doing a root canal, don't ask them, can I get a 5-star review? They're probably going to say no, or they're going to be really awkward to leave it in front of you. It's like, I guess. Or it's like, hey, I know I just did like 10 fillings on your child, and here's a bill for $5,000 and a QR code to leave me a 5-star. Pick and choose your moments, okay, guys? Okay? And then ask for it in an email post-appointment. Okay, if you're uncomfortable with these, you can email. Okay, simple email that says, hey, please leave me a review. Here's my direct link. I very much appreciate it. Okay? Now, the best way to do it in person, in my opinion, is to kind of treat it like a joke. Right? If I came to you and I was all serious and I was like, hey, can I get a review? But I'm kind of awkward because I don't know how to deal with it. You're going to be like, well, I guess I'll do it, and then you'll never do it. But if I came to you and I was like, hey, would you mind leaving me a 5-star review? I don't know, like, just say I'm the best or something. You don't have to, but I don't know, just say I'm the best dentist around, okay? I appreciate it. I'm going to go, but just say I'm the best. You'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll do it. Like, as a patient, you would kind of treat that a little bit better because you're not asking, you're kind of asking genuinely, but not seriously. So kind of treat it like a joke and they will take it seriously. Okay, you ask them seriously, they'll take you like a joke. Okay? Next. Did you know that Google indexes not just the review, but the response? I explained this earlier. So if you have 1,000 reviews and all of them say, you're great, you're amazing, thanks for the work, but I have one review that says, this guy was absolutely the best dentist in town, I will always show up above you. Because my keywords in the review will be better than yours. Because those keywords are specific to best and dentists in town. Yours just say thanks. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many reviews. It's the content in the review that matters. This is why you kind of have to treat asking for a review like a joke. And you have to say, just include some that I'm the best, or, you know, best emergency dentist or best child dentist. You kind of have to treat it like a joke. Okay? Now, 4 people who can leave reviews. Who are they? 4 people. Take a guess. To make things more exciting for you guys. Whoever gives me all 4 of them will get a $10 Starbucks gift card. 4 reviews. Who are the 4 people that can leave reviews? Patients, that's 1. Shout them out, I can't hear you. Staff, that's 2. Yourself, 3. What did you say? What did you say? Sir in the blue sweater. What kind of companies? Come on. Are we going to give it to him? All right, let's give it to him. That's pretty close. It's pretty close. Okay. All right. Patients can leave you reviews, what it's like being treated by you. Your staff can leave reviews, what it's like working with you. Vendors can leave you a review. Pretty close. How many of you bought something on the show floor today, yesterday, tomorrow, you plan to buy something tomorrow? Go back to them and be like, hey, would you mind leaving me a review on what it was like dealing with us? Yeah, sure, I just bought $40,000 of equipment. I'm going to get all of my staff to leave you a review right now. And yes, you, your friends, and your family. How many of you have ever left a review for yourself? One person. Why? Why have you not done that? There's no rule that says that you can't. Who said that you can't leave yourself a review? Did you think it's going to look stupid coming from you? Who cares? It's a 5-star review. Guys, you can leave a review on Google, Yellow Pages, Yelp, Rate MDs, Health Grades, Better Business Bureau. I have like 6 places you can give yourself a 5-star review today. And I bet if you looked in your phone, you would find 10 people that are willing to do it for you today. You have 60 reviews by the end of the day today. Why would you not do that? Give yourself a review, right? Now, don't be on the nose and be like, I'm the best at this and I'm the best. Be genuine with it, right? Hey, I'm a local dentist in the area. I've got a family that I treat and I want to be able to treat your family too. Emergencies, cosmetic, whatever you need, I'm here for you. Dr. Brandon. Again, I'm not a doctor. This is just a lab coat, okay? Any questions on reviews at all? Perfect. Enjoy that Starbucks. It'll get you half a drink. $10, roughly. Okay, Google Ads. I know you're not going to raise your hands. I'm assuming some of you are doing Google Ads. Okay, shaking heads. Yes, okay. So, with Google Ads, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to plug your Google Ads in with your Google Analytics. How many of you know what Google Analytics is? Some of you? It's like Google Search Console. It gives you data on how people engage with you, okay? So, I'm going to come back to that point in just a moment. So, what you're going to do is you're going to tell Google what procedures you want to promote for. Am I wanting teeth whitening? Do I want implants? Do I want root canals, emergencies, orthodontics? What do I want? Okay. Google's going to say, okay, based on those procedures, here's a list of keywords for each one of them. And then it's your job to go through them. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I do want to show up for free dental consultations. I do not want to show up for free dental work. Make sense? Then what you're going to do is you're going to tell it what time of day you should promote. Anybody want to take a guess what time of day they should be promoting their Google Ads? Just shout it out. Huh? 1 p.m.? Okay. Huh? 7 p.m.? What'd you say? 7 a.m.? Sunday night? Guys, you're who said all day? You're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Everyone is basically right. I say basically. Okay? I'm going to tell you what my schedule is as a business owner. I wake up at 5 a.m. I go to the gym for 2 hours. I come back to my home or I go to the office. My wife gets the kids ready. I help in some capacity. We drop the kids off at school. We go get coffee as I get to the office. I do my team meetings with all my staff. I'm on phone calls. I'm talking to my design teams. We're doing advertising and marketing. I'm home by 5 or 6. I go and coach my son's baseball team, or we take him to karate, or my other son has some sort of sport that's going on. We come home, we have dinner, we put them to bed. It's 9 o'clock. At what point did I have time to live my life? After 9 o'clock, right? But that is not the only schedule that is available in life. People work different hours. People have different duties. People have different responsibilities. Okay, this means that you have to be advertising when the average person is around 6 a.m. to 11 o'clock at night, Monday through Sunday. If you're not open during those hours, it's okay, don't worry. They know that you're not open. They will leave you a message or fill out a chatbot or fill out a web form. Okay, then you reach out to them when you're available. They know you're not going to pick up the phone at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. But if they're searching because they need an emergency dentist, you want to make sure you are advertising, okay? The reason you don't advertise from 11 to 6 a.m. is because you don't want to talk to those patients anyway. Okay, what content should be in your ads? Okay, there's 2 types of ads, simple and complicated. There's nothing wrong with saying if somebody's Googling teeth whitening on a Sunday night at 6 o'clock, there's nothing wrong that says, hey, need teeth whitening? Call today. But what you're going to get, what's going to end up working, what's going to give you a better conversion is if you take that Google Analytics data and you manipulate it Because remember, people search differently at different points in the year. So I can create a Google ad that says, hey, do you have a big life event coming up and are you planning on getting married? Try getting better teeth, get your pearly whites today, right? Or maybe they're traveling great distances every day. We could say, hey, don't have time for in-office whitening? Try our take-home whitening kits. And we are advertising only to people that travel large distances every day, okay? So you can manipulate the data. You can manipulate the ad based on the data that you're given. This way, you're not just like writing content just on a whim. I don't know what people are going to search, but I can kind of get into the psychology of what people are going to be clicking on based on the type of lifestyle that they have. Okay? Is everyone with me on that? You understand how that works, kind of. Right? The premise for it, right? Now, what should your budget be on Google Ads? How much money do you spend? It's a loaded question. How many patients do you want? Really? Now, you have to understand, with a budget, if you advertise, let's just say throughout the entire month, let's say you have a $1,000 a month budget, okay? $33 is divided every single day. How many patients do you think you're going to get off of a $33 ads budget? Probably not a lot, right? It's $33. I wouldn't expect a lot, okay? You have to understand that you're also taking that $33 and you're dividing it for 24 hours. You're dividing it, 17 hours or 18 hours throughout the day that you're advertising from 6 until 17 hours, from 6 until 11. You're dividing that $33 every single hour of the day. Then what you're doing is dividing those hours between all the keywords you're promoting for. So what's your budget now? Like 2 cents per click? The average cost per click is $1. So that means you're not able to advertise at these times of day. You're not able to advertise on all these keywords. So you only can advertise at specific times that support your budget, on specific keywords that support your budget. You understand, right? How that works? So if you don't have an appropriate budget, you cannot compete with your competitors, bid on the right keywords or on the right time of day. Now, you also have to consider how many procedures you want to promote for. If you have a $1,000 budget, don't be promoting for 50 things, okay? Because then that budget gets divided again by all the procedures, okay? So you have to make sure that your budget is appropriate for your expectations, okay? So typically my rule of thumb, two services per every $500, usually. And the services typically have to do with each other. So if I'm doing an improvement campaign, teeth whitening and veneers or teeth whitening in like orthodontics, or if I'm doing like a restorative campaign like bridges and dental implants, okay? Something like that, okay? But you need an appropriate budget to meet your expectations, okay? Whatever you put into Google, you should expect between 2 and 8 times in return. 2 to 8 times. So you put in $1,000, you're going to get between $2 and $8 grand back. Okay? Now, the average dental office makes somewhere around $900,000 a year. Are you going to notice 2 to 8 grand every single month into your business income? Based on your fluctuations in your collection, you're probably not even going to notice it. So if you have aggressive growth goals, spend your budget accordingly. Okay? Anybody have any questions on Google Ads? Perfect. Okay, next, Facebook and Instagram. Now, there's lots of social platforms. I start with Facebook and Instagram because they're the ones that everybody knows. So first thing you need to do is update your profile. That's your picture, your cover picture, your logo, your contact information, your hours of operation, services, everything. Then what you're going to do is you're going to set up the automated response. So Facebook has a very simple chat system. It says, hey, welcome to our page. Here's our hours and contact information. How can we help? Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to set up the pixel. The pixel is an analytics system you take from Facebook and plug into your website. It tells you the geographic and demographic information of the people that are engaging with you. Okay. So that means you will be able to see their age, gender, marital status, kids, job, and any other fact about the individual or the group of people. You can't see I can't see who you are, like personally, your name or your name and who you are, but I can see every fact about you that's available online. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at that and I'm going to build content based on my top categories. So if I see that most people are looking for reviews, then that's what I'm going to post about. If I see that most people have kids, that's what I'm going to post about. If I see most people are, between the ages of 35 and 45 and they're women, that's what I'm going to post about. Okay? The pixel is so good to make sure that you're producing content that is relevant to the people engaging with you. Okay, just like Google Search Console tells you what to write about from a blog. Okay? And then you engage with them. You engage with them. And when I say engage, if they like a post, like one of theirs. If they comment, reply. If they share a post, you share one of theirs. See how that works? Okay? It doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, or whatever. That's how you manage a social media page. It's not called Twitter anymore. It's called X. Anyway, so with Facebook and Instagram, you should be posting at least every 2 weeks, or twice every week. At least twice a week. Now, if you're doing Reels, you want to do it once a day. If you're doing YouTube, you could be doing it once a month. If you're doing YouTube Shorts, it's like once a day. If you're doing TikTok, it's like twice a day. So depending on the platform, it'll require you to post more often. Okay? Now, after Facebook and Instagram is Meta. Meta is basically just the back end of Facebook and Instagram. It competes with Google Ads to get your advertising dollars. Okay? So first thing that you want to do is you want to build out your audiences. Okay? Audience. I'm going to build an audience group for men versus women. People with children, without children. People under 30, over 30, or whatever kind of categories I want to create. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build posts targeted towards those groups of people. And I can build multiple posts for each category. And I can let Google or Facebook, sort out which post works better for each group of people. Okay? Kind of doing like an A/B test. Then we're going to set the time frame when we want the ads to appear, the frequency, how often, the radius, and the budget that we want to be able to spend. Okay? And then after that, we promote and engage. And now when I say engage, it's the same thing from your Facebook profile. Except these people do not follow you. So you can invite them to like your page. You can comment with them. You can reply with them. You can engage with them. Don't just let them don't just advertise and let the ad just kind of run without actual any engagement. Okay? Now, I didn't build it in, but there is another page that I didn't think you guys were ready for. It's called influencer marketing. Anybody know what an influencer is? They're a page or a person that has a large following network that you pay to partner with, and anytime they do a post for you, it boosts your number of followers anywhere from a couple hundred to a few thousand. So it's kind of like taking social to the next level, okay? Now, the only problem with working with an influencer, they can be expensive, and their followers don't necessarily come locally. But honestly, it doesn't matter. If someone locally sees that you have 10,000 followers, you can be like, what the hell is this doctor saying that I'm missing, right? Okay. Before I get on, any questions about social? Awesome. Next, we want to review and modify. So everything I just explained does something different, okay? Your website traffic tells you how people are engaging with you, how long they stay, what pages they're clicking on. Google Analytics will tell you the keywords that people are typing in and the times of day that they're searching. Facebook Analytics will tell you the demographic and geographic information of the people engaging with you. So not one system does it all, but you can manipulate each system based on the other's data. So I could go to Google and see that people are searching for implants at 8 o'clock at night. So I post at 8 o'clock at night on Facebook. I look at the post data and I see that it's mostly men over the age of 65 engaging with that post. So I change the imagery on the website for implants to coincide with men over the age of 65 when they're looking for implants. Do you see how that works? You take one system to improve the other. Okay? Now, everything I've just explained up to this point has been digital. There are so many non-digital options, it's crazy. Okay? So some of the things that have worked for other offices that we work with, printed flyers, radio campaigns, wrapping a bus, doing a billboard, commercials at the beginning of movie theaters, community sponsorships, business partnerships, nursing homes. So many ways that you can get involved. So many. Now, some other really cool ideas. Packages to colleagues. You're all dental offices, but is there something in your office that you do that nobody else does? Let them know about it. You're the only one who does the surgery. You're the only one in the area that does orthodontics. You're the only one who deals with kids or likes dealing with them, right? And so there are so many other ways that you can send out a package. It doesn't have to be to other dental offices. Family doctors don't deal with teeth guys. You can get referrals from a family doctor too. It's crazy, okay? Presents for kids. Holidays are coming up. Listen, doesn't matter what you believe in. Go out, get a menorah, Christmas tree, or whatever, okay? Put it in your lobby. Go to the dollar store. Get $200-$300 worth of presents, wrap them, put them under the tree. And say that it's from Dr. Brandon. Again, I'm not a doctor, it's just a lab coat. What you're going to do is you're going to give a present to every child throughout the holiday, and you are going to tell them not to open it until Christmas. Now, I say Christmas because that's what I believe in. You do whatever you want, okay? You have to make a spectacle about it. You can't just say, hey, go pick a present, I'm on to my next patient. Guys, okay, now only do this if they're kids, okay? Doesn't work on adults. So, if I'm going to give you a present, I'm going to be like, hey, come here. This is for you, okay? Don't open until Christmas. You have no idea how many patients you're going to get from referrals for the next 6 months. Because every family that comes to that child's house over the holidays is going to be like, look what my dentist gave me. It's a $3 present from the dollar store. But I'm going to get referral after referral after referral from their family and friends. Okay? I'm telling you, it works. It only costs a couple $100 to do. Okay? Plans for businesses. Anybody have any large corporations around them? Okay? If you do, go in and tell them that you'll give them 10% off to refer all their staff to your office. It doesn't have to be 10%, it can be whatever you want. But I'm just saying it works as well. I have one office that does that in Toronto with something called the TTC, which is like the public transit. It's like 500 employees and their families go to that dentist's office. Very nice. Gives them I think they negotiated 15% off. Sports teams, AAA sports teams, hockey, lacrosse, football. Give them a mouth guard for a new patient exam. And while mom and dad are sitting there, convert them into patients. Okay? So you have to partner with the AAA sports teams. Okay? Next, images and videos. Okay? There's lots of different types of images. Okay? Imagine this one wasn't here. Would it look like from a patient's perspective that they would want to deal with your office? You have a cool logo, nice headshots, and high tech, but there's no patients in it. How do I know that you're even a nice person? So take pictures of you dealing with patients. Now, this one just is a picture of a child. Take pictures of you dealing with adults. Take pictures of you dealing with people in wheelchairs. Take pictures of you dealing with people. Okay, not just in the office setting, but outside the office so people can see who you are. That's how you're going to get more patients to convert on your website. Okay? Now, you want more family patients? Include pictures of kids. Super important as a parent. Okay, you want more cosmetic? Before and after pictures will do you wonders. Okay? And then you want more referrals? Community outreach. Show up at a community barbecue or a rib fest. Sponsor the thing. Take some pictures and post about it. Okay? Now, you're not just going to add the images to your website. You're going to add them to Google, to Bing, to social media, printed flyers, and email newsletters. Same pictures, different platforms. Okay? People convert differently. So you want to post as many times as you can with the same images, because what's going to end up happening is the patient's going to be like, hey, I've seen that picture. Oh, yeah, that's Dr. Brandon. I know that picture. That's how they're going to remember who you are. Okay? Now, a form of optimization is the file name. Don't just upload a picture on your website and the file name says image_006YXZ. Guys, it's a form of optimization. The file name needs to explain what's in the picture. Little girl with blonde hair and pink glasses with a pediatric dentist holding hand. Next time somebody Googles anything like that, Google's going to see that in Google Images. You understand? Okay. Next, we want to combine your marketing efforts. So, email and social media go hand in hand. Okay, if I send a newsletter to my patients, I'm also doing a social media post about them. Okay? Next, creative and general brand. Listen, you're a dentist, you're a dentist, you're a dentist, you're a dentist, everyone's a dentist. Why would someone choose to come to you versus them? Okay, you look great, they look great, you have great education, they have great education. What separates the two of you? Is it your polka dot lab coats? Do you give gum to all your patients? I think I'm the only marketing company here in a white lab coat. What separates you? Okay? Blogging and SEO. It's not chicken and egg. SEO comes first. No one cares if you add a blog to your website, including Google, if you don't optimize the thing. Okay? Print and Google and Meta. They do work very well together. Okay? This is typically how it works. sends out a flyer, you get the flyer, I throw it in the garbage. Now, someone's on social media. They see an ad on social media. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Now, they need a dentist. So now they're on Google. You have an ad pop up that says, hey, need a dentist? Well, actually, I do. Click. Oh, yeah, I've seen this guy before, but I can't remember where. I got a flyer from him. I did social media. And so they work very well together. Okay? And fun fact, if you actually do print 2 miles around your office, and then you hammer that same 2 mile with a Facebook or Google Ads campaign, that print campaign will perform 2 to 3 times better. Personal stock photos and videos. Okay? Use stock photos and videos to talk about your procedures, not personal pictures. Okay? It's very difficult to explain what an inlay or an onlay is on a real patient. And no one just wants someone like, okay? So use like, cartoon images that kind of explain what the actual procedure is, or show a like the 3D animation videos. Okay? And then digital and non-digital. You want to grow, they both have to coexist. Okay? Next, hire a professional. So a professional marketing company should be updating content, colors, images, keywords. They should be fixing errors on directories, renewing domains and security licenses, attracting media, writing blogs, managing social media, print ads, and more. This is what a marketing company should do. This is what you should not be doing. Hire someone for this. Your time is better spent doing other things. Now, the benefit of working with someone like Dr. Marketing is that we do this with dental expertise, which means we are HIPAA, GDRP, and WCAG compliant. WCAG is a website accessibility guidelines. We know the content behind the procedures, and we know how to explain them in a way that's not going to get you in trouble. Okay? Now, common marketing mistakes. There's a lot. I bullet point form them for us so we can go through them pretty quick, okay? So, incorrect phrasing. Do not use the word guarantee, love, best, or state of the art in anything that you do. Testimonials and reviews. Do not place written testimonial on your website. Okay? It is treated as a statement of fact that you publicly endorse. Do you have permission from that person to take their Google review and put it on your website? If you don't, remove it because they can sue you for a HIPAA breach. Okay? Oh, you want to respond to all reviews as well? Don't respond aggressively. Yeah, you didn't have a great time? Good. Screw you. Yeah, don't do that, okay? Incentives. Giving away money to earn reviews or referrals. Don't do that, okay? It attracts the wrong type of patient, and they're typically only there for the incentive and then gone when you try to recall them, okay? Groups and associations. Don't list any groups, study groups, continuing education, or positions you hold at an association. You just can't make yourself seem like you're better than somebody else. Okay, contact information. Using incorrect title or designation. I know you want to, but do not call yourself the supreme dental ruler. Okay? Dentist, DDS, DMD, whatever your designation is. Okay? Having multiple websites for the same office, that's how you get blacklisted from Google. And then directory mistakes. Fix the problems because it's costing you business and ranking with Google. Marketing. Promoting for services you don't offer. Obviously, you shouldn't do that, guys. Plagiarism. Don't do it. Improper explanations. Pretty clear. And then having an improper marketing budget. If your budget's too low, you're not getting the results you need. Okay? If it's too high, you could be overspending on very basic things. So, what should your marketing budget be? Anybody want to take a guess, percentage-wise, of your gross annual sales? Shout it out. What do you think, percentage-wise? 10? 20? Are you? Let's say you make $1 million. You cool with spending $200,000 a year? Maybe. Percentage-wise, shout them out. What numbers? 3? Okay, well, you guys cheated because I talked to you already. Okay, so let me explain the numbers. The correct answer really could be between 1 and 100%. Your new office, you're spending everything. Okay, usually the number of operatories, the number of patients has to correlate. You will spend between 1 and 4% of annual sales. 1 and 4%. Okay, if you have aggressive growth goals, you could be spending 4 to 6 or more. Okay, websites are usually floating between $1,000 to $10,000 a month. Emails will float and cost between $10 to $100 a month. Now, guys, this is from an average provider. This is not Dr. Marketing. Okay, just to be very clear. Okay, this is an average provider of what you can expect to spend on these rates. Okay, chatbots will float between 50 to 300 a month. Fixing directories between 50 to 300 a month. Review booster, that's the survey that you can send to your patients post-appointment that will filter feedback, 50 to 300 a month. Search engine optimization, that is the dynamic, not static. Okay, the dynamic version, between 250 to 500 a month. Social depends on the platform, between 250 to 500 a month. And then ads management will float in cost between 15 and 25%. So if your budget is $1,000, most marketing companies will charge you $200 to manage your $1,000. Everything added up should be 1 to 4% of annual sales. I'll be finished in like 3-4 minutes. Okay. Any questions on budget? Awesome. Is your marketing working? Couple tips and tricks for you. I said I would come back to it, and here it is. Look at your website on all device sizes to make sure that it formats correctly. Fun fact, when people are typically reviewing their website, they only do it from a desktop. Review it from your phone as well to make sure you're happy with the way that it looks. Search engine optimization. So you remember the number one thing Google looks at, the title and description? Here's how you can check for it. So you want to write this down, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to right-click on any page of your website, because you can do this from every page. You're going to right-click if it's from a PC, from a Mac, you got to kind of have to figure it out, okay? You're going to click View Page Source to see the code of your site. This is what it's going to look like, okay? What you're going to look for is something called meta title or meta description. If you can't find it with your eyes, because there's tens of thousands of lines of code, do Control F and just type in description or type in title, okay? And you're looking for blue text, okay? Blue text, okay? That's the text that Google will take and put on the search result for that page. So if it says Brandon Dentistry Implants, Brandon Dentistry Invisalign, Brandon Dentistry, like that's what you're looking for, that is not optimization. Okay? Everyone's with me on that? Okay? So you're going to right-click, View Page Source, Control F, Title, Description. Okay? Then what you're going to do, you're going to look at social media and blogging. Make sure that the posts are consistent. Okay? Make sure that you're happy with the images, with the colors, with the content that's being produced, because ultimately this is your brand, okay? And then ad spend, very important. Your lead cost will be between $45 and $85. If your staff deal with them right, that could be your patient cost. Typical patient cost is between $150 to $250 because your staff are not dealing with the leads appropriately. You get an email that comes in, it's like, okay, thanks, you want to, just come in whenever, I email them back. 70% of the time it goes to the patient's spam box. Or if a patient does call, how does this sound familiar? Thank you for calling Brandon Dentistry. Busy right now. Hang on 1 second. I know some of you do that because I call offices all the time and I know their staff put me on hold just like that before I even get a chance to say hello. Do not do that. You will lose the patient like 90% of the time. Okay? So the average cost, again, between $150 to $250. If your staff deal with them appropriately, you can get that much, much lower, okay? Now, a little bit about Dr. Marketing. We're a full-service marketing team, so if you need anything, give us a call, okay? We're super easy. We specialize in only working with dental practices. That's all we do, okay? We have no term contracts. You're not happy? You can go. Next, we like to save the average office 36 hours a month. It is a lot of time updating directories and doing designs and getting quotes for printing and everything else that we do, posting on social up and stuff. We like to take our time, be easy to understand, and offer effective and efficient service. What's interesting is that we actually sponsored this session, so I get an extra 30 minutes with you guys, so I had enough time to explain this. Imagine if I did this in an hour. You know how fast I'd be talking? Talking fast now, but it'd be crazy in an hour. And we've got partnerships with all of these companies. You can actually find us on Google and Facebook and you can find us on their sites. So, I mean, honestly, if they trust us, I think you can too. I think that's pretty safe to say. Okay, what do we offer? Everything. There's 3 kinds of marketing. You've got digital marketing, Facebook, Google, websites. You've got internal marketing, printed materials and promotional items, and you have external items, okay, external marketing. It's like flyers and brochures and letterheads and envelopes and billboards. We can take care of all of it. Whatever you need, we've got you covered, okay? Case studies. I put together a couple of case studies. We're just about done now. I wasn't sure what to expect here, so I kind of put different offices in different locations. So in Canada, we have denture-only offices. They're not medical offices. They just do dentures. Okay, so they're not cleaning and scaling teeth. So I wasn't sure what to expect. So different types of offices, different locations, okay, different budgets. The lowest spending office that I have spends $100 a month. The most expensive one spends about $40,000 a month. One office. Okay, generates about $250,000. He's an orthodontist. Okay, but everybody is different. Now, it doesn't matter where you want to get to because every single person that works with us needs to start basic. Okay, I have to understand the analytics of how things work with you before you are able to get any advertising with us. Okay, you can't just come in and say, start doing Google Ads. Sorry, we're not the company for you. Okay, we want to make sure we are doing it the right way for you. So things like optimization, social media, Google Ads, print, everything like that, it all takes a back seat. We have to know if these things are going to work for you before we start doing them. So if anybody has any questions, scan this. It's QR code, click it, fill out the form. We will be in touch with you to set up a time to chat. But if anybody has any questions as well, there's flyers at the back. You can also grab a flyer or a business card, but I will also be here to answer any questions, okay? Thanks, everyone.